Guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, most of us Otome and dating sim fanatics are already in the know, but for those of you hanging out here now, Date Everything is the brand new spicing dating sim, taking the romance dating genre by storm. With over 100 fully voice-acted characters from some of the top VAs across anime, movies, and gaming, all with unique personalities and identities, Date Everything is an addicting and quirky dating sim where you can, well, date everything. Be it your air fryer, the hangers, your dresser, or your bed. Date Everything has a plethora of characters for you to friend, love, and romance, or fall in hate with. With so many characters, there was bound to be some rather questionable romances in the game that can make even the most seasoned dating sim and Otome players raise an eyebrow. Now, I've played through a majority of the game and unlocked pretty much everyone, so let this be your spoiler warning that if you haven't played the game and all the storylines, there's a couple of things you're going to want to look out for. But here are my top 5 most sus dateables in Date Everything. And be warned, some of these dateables do cover triggering topics. There is a mechanism that will let you know if you're entering a sus zone. But as always, please exercise self-care when playing through these routes. In at number 5 to start our list, we have Sinclair the Sink. Sinclair can be found at any sink location in the house when you meet him, and you'll know right away, this man thing dateable isn't quite all there.
Pleasure is what I would say if I weren't trapped in eternal sanctum.
He adamantly states his name isn't Sinclair, and he is for, well, lack of a better word, rather confused about who he is and where he comes from. As you play through the storyline, you'll notice he appears with several other characters, and most dateables realize he's not all there and living in his delusions. Spoiler warning, there's a reason he's so delusional, but I will leave that for you to figure out. At number 4, we have Doug. Doug is one of the harder dateables to find, and the only way to truly locate him is to stare at the wall beneath the stairwell for a couple of seconds and to not move your mouse. And if you do it right, Doug will appear and the first thing he ever says to you is,
"Sup, baby? Nice ass."
Doug is the manifestation of existential dread, and he can come off a bit aggressive and borderline abusive with his commentary. Now, I'm not going to spoil his entire route, but what I will say is that his commentary and dialogue can be a little hard to swallow for some, and if you're like me, you're probably going to want to throw hands and punch him in the face. Not going to spoil his storyline entirely, but there's a pretty good reason he does what he does, and yes, he can somewhat be redeemed at the end of his storyline if you play your... At number 3, we have Harper. When you first encounter Harper, she's mid-argument with Dirk, the dirty laundry. And the first encounter with them, it's pretty apparent they're in a very toxic relationship, and it puts you in a very uncomfortable position.
Do you think I'm stupid? You think I can't see what's going on right in front of me?
I never said you were stupid, but I am starting to think you're insane.
Throughout the course of the story, Dirk and Harper continually spiral with their arguments and toxic behavior, slinging insult after insult at one another until Dirk and Harper finally explode, and then Harper comes to you and basically forces you to have a therapy session with her. It's very clear early on that Harper has a heavy distrust of most people that has a root in trauma, but she often performs love bombing, and there's evidence of manipulation with Dirk, so much so that it manifests as heavy distrust when he's in his clean state. If you play the route and decide to become friends with Harper, she doesn't truly give up on the romance or her bad behavior, and it comes off a little uncomfortable to the point where she gives you a lower back tattoo to make sure that you can say you're best friends and everyone knows it.
She hands you a small piece of paper.
Here, so you can get your matching one.
Oh!
Harper's smile only grows brighter.
Now everyone around the house will know you and I are best besties. Don't take too long now, all right? Everyone needs to know how tight we are.
It's the tight design.
I'll make sure to remind you.
Her toxic pattern of behavior, manipulative tactics, and attachment issues place Harper at number 3. To no one's surprise, at number 2, we have Dishy the dishwasher. Right off the bat, Dishy automatically gives us a sense of unease with his large upper body and oddly humanoid legs, coupled with an uncanny smile. Spoiler warning, Dishy has potential to be the absolute most volatile and even can kill the main character right off the bat in the first interaction if you're not careful. But if you decide to not allow him to connect to the internet, Dishy will continually press you to connect him to your internet instead of being in offline mode, and you're safe for the moment. This isn't so much just a terrible dateable, he's just a little confusing, and every interaction with Dishy feels really weird and borders on disturbing. You never know if there's actual flirting or you're feeding into Dishy's delusions. The forcible cheer and deeply unsettling smile, along with deeply unsettling aggression,
Unleash the whirlpool!
make him one of the more sus dateables in Date Everything, which is why he comes in at number 2 on this list. To no one's ultimate surprise if you've played Date Everything, in the number 1 spot, we have Hector, the HVAC system. Hector can be found by looking up to any vent or even the HVAC system in the attic. It takes a couple of tries to get Hector to talk to you as he's incredibly shy, but once he begins to talk, that's where things start to spiral.
My greatest wish is to give you pleasure. Tell me, how much do you think
The
about me?
HVAC! Hector outwardly admits to not only stalking you, but even going so far as to control the environment you're in and lay out his fantasies for you as the main character.
Telling me what to do, and I am powerless to do otherwise.
I can't save! I can't save!
Somehow it relaxes me. And to know that I'm giving you precisely the thing you want at that moment. Oh, it fulfills me. It makes me whole.
This stalking behavior and stalking tendency is extremely unsettling, and his open admissions upon barely your 3rd or 4th meeting with him to being absolutely in love with you are extremely disturbing, and his willingness to do anything for the player makes him unsettling to the point where it might make you want to fasten the screws on your air ducts a little tighter at night. With his submissive, self-depreciating behavior and potential yandere attitude, Hector is not only a questionable dateable, but he can border on outright frightening for the potential explosive behavior that could result if the main character breaks his heart. For this reason, this is why Hector comes in at number 1 for the most sus dateable in all of Date Everything. Despite the number of sus and questionable characters in Date Everything, it's still a pretty fun game that if you love dating sims, you should try, and you're pretty safe in the comfort of your own home, for the most part. So guys, thank you for watching. If you want to see more top 5s, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know some of the games you guys are playing, or if you've played Date Everything, who is your main romance? With that guys, I'll see you on the next video. You'll have a great night, great day wherever you are, and catch you later.